Hey, everybody, this is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative. I'm coming to you from wherever I am in the country this week. And this week, I just so happen to be home. Yes, I'm in my tiny home, aka my RV, because I travel for work. And I've got a few topics to talk about this week. Obviously, we got the elections going on, and I've got a couple other things I would like to discuss that kind of hit home, especially one of them. Before I get into each one of those, you know the drill. Go hit that like button, subscribe button, sign up for alerts. I've got a small channel. I've barely got over 500 people, but I'm asking, please help support this channel by subscribing and signing up for alerts, and share it or two. Give it a share or two if you like the content that you see. Again, my name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative. So let's get right into it. Election Day. It's going on tomorrow. Today is Monday, November the 2nd. Tomorrow's November the 3rd, National Election Day. Now, do we know who the president is going to be after that? I don't know. There's so many issues at hand, so many different states that have their own voting regulations, as is their constitutional right. But I have a feeling that we're not going to know for a few days, unless it is a landslide, who the president is going to be come January 21st. My personal opinion is it's still going to be Donald Trump. I think there are a lot of closet conservatives. I was a closet conservative for a while. Obviously, I'm not anymore, but I believe there's a lot of closet conservatives out there that are going to come out in droves. And I think they've already started coming out in droves, especially in states like Pennsylvania, where Joe Biden basically turned his back on them by saying he is going to eliminate fracking and eliminate fossil fuels. Pennsylvania lives off of that. So does Louisiana, so does Oklahoma, so does Texas. You think you're going to get those votes? If you plan on eliminating the jobs of millions of workers, I highly doubt you're going to get their vote. Oh, but green energy is good. Do you know that, coming from the automobile industry myself, I dealt with hybrid cars. One of the manufacturers I worked with sold a hybrid vehicle. They sell multiple now. However, the production of said hybrid vehicle causes more pollution than the driving of standard vehicles that take gasoline. Those batteries are filled with acid and lead, and they're not recyclable. Those batteries have to be thrown in the dumpster, basically. They go in the trash. So what's going to happen in 10 years, because that's the lifespan of these batteries. In 10 years, when those batteries start dying, and by the way, they've already started dying. The first hybrid vehicle I ever sold in my career was in 2009. That battery needs to be replaced on that vehicle. Not to mention, that's about a $2,000 battery. But you get all of this lead and all of this acid in the environment now. This green energy that you're talking about isn't so green. Windmills. These big, huge, ginormous blades on these windmills that take tractor trailers that sometimes have to have 3 trailers on them to move. Those aren't recyclable either. So when those start getting decommissioned, what do they do with those blades? But let me tell you about the production of those as well. Guess what they take? Fossil fuel. The factories that produce those take fossil fuel. The transport of them takes fossil fuel. There is no electric engine out there yet. And I say yet because there very well could be, but there's no electric engine out there that has the horsepower and the torque to get those big blades moving. And only one blade fits on a truck at a time. Have you ever seen these? Have you ever been stopped by those? It takes an Escort. It takes a caravan for just one blade. They've got to have the Escort truck out in the front to stop the traffic. Then they have another Escort truck in the back to make sure nobody tries to sneak around the truck, go on the side like people like to do, because they get frustrated because this truck is going below the speed limit which it has to. It has these wide load signs on it, and it takes about 5 minutes to make a single turn. Because this trailer will turn, this trailer will turn a different way, and then this trailer kind of follows the path of this one. So, in producing this green energy, you still have to have fossil fuels, which Joe Biden and Kamala Harris want to get rid of. See the point there? See the irony of that? See the fallacy in that? It's not applicable. I mean, it's not. You can't do that. You cannot produce green energy without fossil fuels. Now, I have seen, and I think the technology is out there. We just got to have a genius to put it all together. I have seen hydrogen-powered vehicles, which is just water. The byproduct of that is water. I've seen that. I believe if we can figure out how to get there, we could utilize that. But guess what we're going to have to use first? Fossil fuels. But you want to eliminate it before that technology is here. I say, if you want to eliminate that, great. I can get with that. But before you do that, have the alternative. That's like quitting your job before you have something else lined up. Makes absolutely no sense. None at all. And this Green New Deal, this green energy that you're proposing, that you're endorsing, that AOC proposed, you're trying to start off with removing windows from buildings. Like this debt that we're in right now, we're in a horrible debt as a country. But it's going to increase if you do this. And it's going to increase so much that we're not going to be able to get back from it. We're not. We have to have that technology first. Mind you, whoever comes up with that technology is going to make themselves a whole lot of money. Make their countries a whole lot of money. That's if they don't visit Epstein first. See? My point on this is to go in and evaluate where your dollars are coming from. Why do you want this green energy? To save the planet? Okay, that's a deal. Because climate change is affecting has caused all sorts of forest fires in California and Oregon. No, there's actually article upon article and video upon video that people set those. People have been arrested for arson, but you don't see that in the mainstream media. You got to go search down into the local media for that. You won't see that on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. You won't see that. You will see climate change has caused the forest fires. Other elections that are happening, specifically in Texas, that I want to talk about. MJ Hagar versus John Cornyn, versus in a Senate race. So what's going on with this one? Just touch on this a little bit. John Cornyn, he's been in there for a while. He's been the senator for a while. And I am pro term limits. I think we need that. And John Cornyn might be right on the cusp of where I think the term limits should be. However, MJ Hagar, she hasn't done anything. She's great at telling her bio. She doesn't tell her standpoint on much more than a few things. She's pro-abortion. If that's what you want, okay, I get that. I can see that. I don't like abortion. And I tell people that when I make Congress, because I'm still going to run for Congress, not next term, but maybe a couple terms after that, I won't, how do I explain this? I will never, ever vote on legislation to ban abortion, but I won't vote on legislation to fund it either. It's a private choice. It's not my choice. I think it's wrong. But the whole, how do I say, judge not lest ye be judged. And also, look a little biblical on that. I don't think we should legislate our way to salvation. I don't. So I digress on that. But she is pro-abortion. Okay. She's also pro-defunding the police. We've seen what happened in Oregon and in Philadelphia and what's happening in Chicago because of the defunding of police. There are truckers that won't go into those places anymore because of the defunding of police. Philly is under fire right now because of riots. So, are you for that? My Texans, my fellow Texans, this one's going out straight to Texans. Are you for that? Do you want your police department to be defunded? I could see reform. I could see that. I can stand with that. But defunding, I don't think so. You're going to have people trying to get away from Texas. By the way, all of you people in Texas that moved to Texas from a blue state, a blue location, remember why you moved. It wasn't because you liked the politics there. If you liked the politics there, you would stay there. It was because you wanted to get away from that. So remember that tomorrow. Remember that tomorrow. When you go vote, don't vote the way you voted previously. Time for a coffee break, guys. Other issues with MJ Hagar. She has been touring with Kamala Harris. Okay. But, big question. And somebody, drop me a comment if you know the answer to this, because I don't. I would like to know the answer to this. So drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Could Kamala Harris bringing MJ Hagar along with her be considered campaign contributions? If so, I'm guessing she didn't disclose it. So could that be considered illegal campaign contributions? Drop me a comment below. And if you know about it, cite me the FEC article, whatnot. I just don't have time right now to go look it up, because I am going to straight from here, as soon as I finish with this, I'm going to start preparing for tomorrow. Because tomorrow, I got to get started early, because I'm going to be working the polls from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock. It's going to be a day for me. But either way, so let me know. Let me know what it's like. Also, John Cornyn. Come on, Texas. Vote for a Texan. Let's keep Texas red. We are a red state. We have been a red state because we know the values of conservatism. And it's not necessarily Republican versus Democrat. It's conservatism versus social liberalism. We know the value. We were built on freedom, which is a conservative government. We were built on allowing ourselves to do and govern ourselves. We don't need the government to tell us each and everything that we can and we can't do. That's communist, socialism, and liberalism. Synonymous. About 95%. So moving on. Let's talk about that campaign bus again. Do you see this clip? So right after that happened, you have the media talking about Joe Biden cancels campaign because of armed Trump supporters. I didn't see any guns in that. But they are shaming this clip. But they are liking this clip.
Fox News alert, 8 o'clock in Philadelphia. Riots overnight there. 30 officers hurt and more than 30 people have been arrested after violence erupted overnight.
So what's the difference in this clip and this clip?
Riots overnight there. 30 officers hurt and more.
One is being labeled as armed, violent, and the other one is being labeled as protests. Okay, so there was an accident on the Trump train where a truck ran into another vehicle. Accidents happen on the road. That is the one and single incident that happened on there. We don't know what happened. Was it intentional? I don't know. We don't know. Was it an accident? We don't know. I tell you what was intentional: fires, looting, killing, turning a section of the city into a lawless zone, breaking into stores, terrorizing people. Yes, that is intentional. We know that. You have to make a conscious effort to set a fire. A fire does not set itself. Well, okay, so maybe it can in nature and if in an accident, but these fires, they do not set themselves. Cities do not set themselves on fire. They don't. So what's the real difference? The media will label one as a violent armed protest on the right side. However, the media will also label one as protests on the other side. Your call. What do y'all think about that? Oh, it's racist. Trump followers are racist. If you support Trump, you are a racist. Okay, that is your opinion. I've been labeled racist. I have. Believe it or not. I've been labeled white supremacist. I mean, I am the Latino conservative. Latino. No white here. But people put a label on stuff and think that that is gospel. The left side, the left media is really great at this. After all, the media is great at telling stories and getting you to believe those stories. That is what they get paid to do. Look at companies like Disney. They get paid to tell a story. They get paid to, and we're not talking about thousands, we're talking about millions and billions of dollars. They get paid to make you believe. That's their job. The media is doing that. They are the best at doing this, and the left side is doing this. So Malcom X said it best. Yes, I'm going to go there. Malcom X said it best. The white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. I'm going to continue with that quote. Okay? White liberals are those who have perfected the art of selling themselves to black man as our friend, to get our sympathy, our allegiance, and our minds. The white liberal attempts to use us politically against white conservatives so that anything the black man does is never for his own good, never for his advancement, never for his own progress. He's only a pawn in the hands of the white liberals. I only cite these things to show you that in America, the history of white liberal has been nothing but a series of trickery designed to make us think that the white liberal was going to solve our problems. Our problems will never be solved by the white liberals only. The only way that our problems will be solved is when the black man wakes up, cleans himself up, stands on his own 2 feet, stops begging the white liberals, and takes immediate steps to do for ourselves the things that we have been waiting on the white liberals for us to do. The media's the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent look guilty and to make the guilty innocent, and that's power because they control the minds of masses. Democrats are playing you for a political chump, and if you vote for them, not only are you a chump, you are a traitor to your race. That is the entire quote by Malcom X. Word for word. I didn't change anything. I didn't alter any words. That is exactly what he said. See, told you. Who's chumping out? So back on the race thing, I'm going to take a little sidestep and give you a little experience of my own that I had over the weekend. There is a platform called TikTok. Everybody knows what TikTok is, and I like to play on it too. Go look me up. TX Latino Conservative. I post, of course, conservative thoughts and ideas, but I post some funny things on there as well. I got some followers on there, got a few of them, But the racism on there towards me has been astonishing. I have been told to go back home. I have been told, what are you going to do when Trump's put you back on the first? Wait, let me restate that. What are you going to do when Trump's put you and your kids back on the first bus to Mexico? Called me a coconut, called me a white supremacist, called me all sorts of stuff because of my conservative beliefs. Wow. The thing is, all of those were lefties, but no one ever came up with any facts. I respect a person who has points of views that the left side has and shares them with me. If you just say, screw this, screw that person, of course, the word starting with the F, and if you just say, basically, if you just make derogatory comments, I lose 100% respect for you at that point in time. None. You have no respect from me. Absolutely none at all, because one, you can't educate yourself enough to say anything other than what you've heard. My son and my daughter, polar opposites on the political scale. Polar opposites. My son is extremely conservative. My daughter is extremely liberal. Does that make them both either right or wrong? No, it doesn't. What makes them right or wrong is the way they approach that, the way they engage. I've got two preteens. Dang it. They're not preteens anymore. Man, I feel old. I've got two teenagers on my hands that have more intelligent conversations than many adults, most adults. And to say, come up on somebody's comment feed and say, go back home. Well, one, I've had this discussion before. My mom was born in Monte Vista, Colorado. My dad was born in Victoria, Texas. Colorado, you know what is the primary Latino, quote unquote, culture there? Indigenous people. That's right. My dad's family, ancestors, came over with Christopher Columbus. Now, I know they did some bad stuff. Everybody's done some bad stuff. But you get where I'm going there? My family tree has deep roots in this land. About as deep as they get on both sides of my family. So go back home. I call this entire country my home. God bless America. You will not, and we will not, as a country, fix racism by being racist. Those who are griping and complaining and crying racism are being racist themselves. Personal experience, those are the ones that are the most racist, that attack people racially and are putting a wedge in that divide. Guys, come on. When are we going to fix that divide? We're not going to do it by being racist. If you nurture something, it'll grow. I know people will say we have to acknowledge this and we have to address it. Let me tell you about a story. I'm going to take you back about 10 years back when I was doing paranormal investigations. I know, a little odd, but oh well, hear me out. There was this group somewhere up in New England, if I'm not mistaken, but the project was called the Phillip Project. What these people did were they created, I'm doing my air quotes, they created a backstory for Phillip. They created a name, a character, what he did for a living, all that stuff. They created a life for a ghost. Then, they tried to start reaching out to this ghost through seances, through Ouija boards, all that good paranormal stuff. And by the way, I don't do it anymore. I just choose not to. But they start trying to reach out to this ghost. Philip. They created it. Pretty soon, Philip appeared. My point is, if you nurture something and you keep feeding it, even if it's just a little bit, it'll find a way to grow. Life finds a way. And we are giving life to racism by being racist. We cannot combat fire with fire. Doesn't work. Who's going to be the right? Who's going to concede? I'm waiting for an answer. Still no answer? Those who claim systemic racism is a thing, please find me something that will. And I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to contradict you, but please, I'm begging you, if you find something that is systemically racist, let me know. I will use every single means that I have capable, and then some. I will reach out to people that I've made contacts with recently. I will reach out to whoever I can to help you fight this systemic racism. It's not systemic. It is inherited and it is taught. Not from the system, but from people and from within. Once we address the real problem and realize that racism just seeks attention, like a bully. If a bully doesn't get the attention he wants, eventually that bully goes away. It may require a punch in the face, which I believe we've done, but eventually that bully will go away. You know that little kid that acts up for attention? No matter what attention that kid gets, positive or negative, that attention feeds that activity. If we stop acknowledging that, the kid stops. It does. Parents can attest to this. Hey guys, thanks again for listening. Remember, tomorrow is election day. If you haven't pre-voted or early voted, go out there and vote. Don't waste your voter registration. We've had a record turnout in Texas. Over half of the registered voters have voted already. However, in Texas, there's traditionally also about a 50% split on people who are registered to vote and people who actually vote. Don't waste your voter registration and don't waste your voice. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino Conservative.